You're listening.
I just don't care.
Look, if you're 300 pounds, then you are a monster, and I don't want you to talk.
Hello.
Hi.
I might have been too close to the mic for that. As you might have noticed, producer Dave isn't here unless he put his normal opening in the front, which he probably did.
What are we going to do here? This is the...
Well,
How are we going to survive this?
I don't know, Doggz. I guess this is a takeover. Stealing all the gimmicks.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, and welcome to Rock Hill, South Carolina's only premier pay-per-view wrestling podcast. This is a work. I am your host, David Two Dogs Hayes, and with me, as always, in the producer seat, my tag team partner, Chris, the producer, in Fashion Plate Barnes.
No, you were so close. It was right there. It was just inches away, and you just...
I couldn't resist it.
You fell off the ladder.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm in a good mood tonight, man. How you doing?
I'm looking to have some fun.
Yeah, this was a fun pay-per-view. A lot of people on the interweb are calling this the best pay-per-view that AEW has ever done.
I disagree, but
I do as well. But it was great.
It was good. They've hit their stride because honestly, I would call this average for them.
Yeah,
overall,
that's kind of what I was thinking.
It's good, and it had something to do with a lot of the match endings, but we can get there when we get there.
Absolutely. Well, what do you say we just jump right in here with both feet?
Absolutely. Full gear.
Full gear. Here we go. We're going to start with the buy-in and Serena Deebs versus Allison Kay. Okay, we're not going to start great here. It's
You shut up about and talk more about how the Deeb is excellent.
You know what? The Deeb is every other time.
I love her name. I will. She's won my heart already just with that last name.
Yeah,
because she's now the Deeb to me.
The Deeb. Every single time I've seen her in not Dynamite, Power.
Yes.
Which, okay, to be fair, I haven't watched Power a ton.
That's true. We should point out this was actually an NWA Women's World Championship match between their people.
Yeah, they bust in a couple because their women's division is just reprehensible. I mean, it's you almost don't want to talk about it. But maybe it's an AEW curse. I don't know, man, because I've seen Dee before. I've seen Allison Kay before. They're not bad workers.
No.
They did not show up tonight. Saturday when it happened. This was not a good match. I think it went maybe 10 minutes, something like that. And
it's true. It's true. The hardest fought match. There was a harder fought match. Well, the hardest fought match of the night was Kara working it out with the streaming service to let us watch the pay-per-view.
I enjoyed watching that match better, even though she really had heat with me for some reason.
No, that was a blood feud.
There's some notable moments during this match. There was a nice Falcon arrow that that Serena delivered to Kay. There was a couple of outside spots that were nice. There was a couple of running knees that looked pretty good. Other than that, they were really, really slow. Blew a couple of spots and didn't know how to get back on track, and it felt like they were one step off through the whole match. Serena ends up retaining.
Yes.
By submission with the slowest. Well, no. I almost called it an octopus, but that happened before. What? How did she submit her?
I don't remember.
Now I know she did. I believe Kay did an octopus at one point in time, and it was the slowest damn thing I've ever seen in my life. And
Well, octopus move faster underwater.
yeah. So what you're saying is we should drown Allison Kay. That's what I'm hearing.
No,
That's,
what? No, what? No, what? No.
I know what's in your heart. Yeah.
No.
Okay. Let's kill her.
What? No, no.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
No.
What do we have from her?
Doesn't say. It just says that she defeated her by submission. Thanks, Wikipedia.
Yeah, appreciate that.
But I mean, it was an interesting first match, and it's funny. The last pay-per-view we saw, Serena Deeb wasn't the champ. It was Thunder Rosa.
It was.
And then, so I was kind of wondering what happened to her, and then
maybe we're gonna have to start watching a little more NWA Power, Into the Fire, baby.
Well, actually, she showed up at the end of this match as a free agent, so she's going to be on AEW more, I believe.
Yeah, they have worked out Corgan and Khan have, which sounds like a cop show.
Corgan and Khan, they fight crime.
They've worked out some type of agreement where they're going to use some talent, which I think AEW desperately needs. I've seen, and
they've worked out some sort of deal with Impact too.
Yeah, so which is great. It's
absolutely
Feds working together to destroy the evil empire. They're still not going to do it.
Oh no, not till Vince is dead.
No, and even then,
yeah. Because when Vince dies, more rational people might have a shot at running things.
Right. That's
I said more rational.
Yeah, no, it's until all those writers are just fired blatantly. They just get out.
Or are allowed to present non-insane ideas.
Yeah.
I get the feeling a lot of that can be they have to cater to what they think they're going to like.
Yeah, there's a lot of tropes that are going around WWE right now with people losing their names. And, Matt Riddle is no longer Matt Riddle anymore. He's just Riddle. Yeah. Buddy Murphy's
They're
just
a
Murphy.
letter away from DC Comics sending a cease and desist.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I knew about Buddy Murphy becoming Murphy.
Yeah. So who else? Mustafa Ali has gotten his name back.
Cool.
So that's
just in time for them to bury him with it.
right. And then, just in time for Mia Yim to get her a nickname for Retribution.
Who is she now?
Reckoning. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It doesn't matter because that stable's done. I mean,
come on. There's got to be some other kind of blunt instrument that you can give her. T-bar, slapjack. Candlestick. I don't know.
Oscillating spindle sander. I don't know. I mean, you could
candlestick, pipe wrench.
You're just saying clue weapons
pipe,
now.
Rope tied into a noose.
The billiard. Anyway, we're getting off.
I am.
This was. I did not like this match at all. I gave it a 1.5, and everybody in attendance that evening said I was being very generous. So
I mean, I'll be honest. My attention shifted kind of quickly.
Yeah.
I was just more eager to talk to people after a bit.
I had never noticed that the NWA Women's title is Grandma's picture frame.
Oh yeah, no, I saw that the last time too, but I was just it became more apparent this time. Yeah, NWA's. I don't know if they don't do it with the world title, do they?
God, I hope not.
No, they shouldn't. There's no way
because the world title is Sweet Charlotte.
It's the belt. Yeah,
it's Flair's belt.
It's like they wouldn't do that. But the women's title, they've started now in a way to personalize it. The centerpiece is a picture of the current title holder now.
Guys, I mean, I've seen a lot of different belts. I've been around wrestling for a long time, and I've seen plastic belts. I've seen wooden belts. I have seen I've seen very poorly made, and these are all professional wrestling belts. I'm not something that I made when I was a kid, which I did, but still.
I've still got my classic Intercontinental toy title, the foam belt with the the plastic.
Yeah,
I've got it sitting in a little place of honor in my apartment.
We have seen hemp woven belts. We have seen belts with monster faces on them. We've seen spinner belts.
I mean, really, the biggest example during the Attitude Era was Stone Cold with his own personal championship, the Smoking Skull belt,
which led to the Brahma Bull belt and Undertaker's belt, which I don't remember what it was.
Oh yeah, he did that too. But why?
But I be done seen about everything. When I see a picture frame belt,
it's got that kind of power of what we still have. My mom still has the handmade ornaments that me and my sister made in school, and one of them is very much like a little circular picture frame that had my elementary school picture from that year in it.
Yeah,
it's same kind of like you set that in the middle of the belt, and it's like I'm the women's champion.
It looks like Andre the Giant's watch. If the watch just had a picture of his mom on there instead of a...
What time is it? Time to drink.
Oh, God. Oh, man. Yeah, 1.5 for this match. Let's move into the actual card.
There was an attempt. I mean...
There was. They tried. They failed. Chalk it up as a loss. Move on. Let's get it together.
All right, starting off big.
Yeah, come right out of the gate swinging. The finals of the AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament. Now the winner of this is technically number one contender, but I guess you just get a future title shot.
You do. This is a tournament final match. Basically, they had a tournament, and lo and behold, Adam Page and Omega ended up facing off against each other.
It was very obvious when you saw the brackets. Well, I guess it was 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. When you saw the brackets, and you just kind of took one look up, one look down, and you're like, okay.
But I like that. I just like
it's very obvious what's going to happen.
When you're a little bit savvy about what you're watching, it's like you can look at that and go, okay, it's those two.
Yeah, it's like the rest of this is
you look on that bracket for where the story is.
But the one thing that came, because of the first time I saw it, I was like, okay, this is what's happening. But still, in the back of my head, I wasn't 100% because this is something that AEW likes to do. Is they like to say like, "Hey, look at this, huh?" And then they switch on you. So you immediately get swerved and you think you've got it down pat. But no, that's not what happened.
I think they also have a good understanding of when is the time to do the moneymaker.
Right. So now we started out swinging, man. Omega and Page just come out of the gate on fire.
Oh yeah.
We ranged all over. Fantastic match. Didn't really see any spots that got blown. Nothing that I would bring up.
Right.
Just a smash mouth match. Brutal as hell. Nicely built staircase, to build along the storyline.
Yeah.
Well, the go home on this, and I'm trying to remember how it went. But Omega went for the Falcon Arrow. And he went for it a few times in this, but he goes for the Falcon Arrow, and I think that's how he ended up taking the victory. And just huge, man. And here comes Yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. He wins. He now has a shot at the world title.
Yep.
I was good with everything on this match. I gave it a 4.5 Meltzer rating. I really wanted Adam Page to take this. I personally think I'm going to get some hate for it, but I personally think Adam Page, if we harnessed him properly and we you had some of the vets spend a little bit of time with him, I think he could be the next one. The A-lister, the Hogan, the Rock, the Austin, the Flair. He could be the Dusty.
Maybe so, and then hopefully that they've still got that. He can still pull that out in the pipeline. So
yeah, it's and it would make sense because Omega clearly is. If he wasn't going heel before, he is now.
He is heel, and it'll be interesting to see him finally get a return match with Moxley if that's how that goes.
Yeah,
because it's been a year.
It's gonna say that's been a year to the day of the pay-per-view, wasn't it?
Almost
or
exactly
close.
It was close to it. Where they had the. The unsanctioned fight, with the ring getting ripped up and everything.
Yeah, that's right, because that's where they broke out the trampoline with the. Oh my God!
Oh yeah, that one went all over.
Yeah, that's the. I think that's the one that hooked Hensley, wasn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
that was the Cracker Barrel.
That was the night of the Cracker. Oh my God, the Cracker Barrel death match is still one of the best things.
I'm telling you,
that better be an option in the AEW game.
It's got to be, right?
It better be. That is one product integration I will fully support.
Absolutely.
Make that a match you can either get or unlock or have happen.
Because don't get me wrong. Skittles is fun.
Yeah.
But a Cracker Barrel match.
But when you want a down home ass whooping,
right?
Think of Cracker Barrel.
You go to Cracker Barrel and you play with some oversized checkers. That's what you do, man. Fantastic match. Kenny Omega is technically, I suppose, the number one contender.
Basically, whenever they fit him in.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and talk about it now.
Go ahead.
No reason to hold it off because it's not an exciting point, but one I just wanted to make. The matches on this pay-per-view had a significant problem in terms of their endings. It's like not that they were bad, just that they happened.
Yeah.
There was no.
I was going to bring that up here in a little bit, but we can talk about it now.
There was no real sense of finality. It's just like, that was the end.
There's that, and there's a few matches that are like that.
Yeah.
On here. I also think this card was stacked wrong. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. I loved Omega and Page coming out of the gate. That was a great way to start things off.
Yeah.
I think we could have started off with this next match, Orange Cassidy.
Sure thing. That would have been a great opener.
For Silva. Cassidy is a great opener. Mm-hmm. Which, you know what? Let's just segue right into that.
Sure thing. Let's go.
So now, this was crazy. So, Silver, is it Jack Silver?
John Silver.
John Silver, sorry.
Like the captain.
There it is. John Silver, I think did they
number
call him
4?
four?
He's
is he
number
4?
Yep,
okay,
he's 4.
Who's number 5? Mm-hmm. I'll look at
don't recall.
I'll look at my notes later, but John number 4 Silva versus Orange Cassidy. He's number 4 in the Dark Order, and so we start things out with those just brutal Orange Cassidy kicks. Crowd gets behind him immediately. What do you got?
Alan Angels is number 5.
Alan Angels.
Well,
that's
it's interesting because it's 1 through 4, 5, 10. Anna Jay is 99. Colt Cabana has no number.
No, I think Colt's not technically in there yet. I think he's still a prospect.
He's part of the Booster Club. Look how happy he is to be with his friends out there. Oh, there's part-time members. There's number 8 and number 9.
Yeah,
an unnamed spokesman and Creepers.
Yeah, we didn't.
He hasn't.
We haven't seen the Creepers
not since the end of August.
Months.
Yeah, the end of August.
Yeah. So, Orange Cassidy.
Yes.
We start things out with some devastating kicks from Cassidy. He goes to reach into his pockets. We do a couple little spots there.
Oh, the opening spot with John Silver trying to stop him, trying to get the ref Bryce Remsburg to stop him from going to his pockets.
Yeah,
and he just makes a huge big spot out of it where he puts them in, and Silver's like yelling at his pockets, like, "Don't put your hands in those pockets." And Remsburg is down there going, "Nope, it's legal."
Yeah. So we go through a couple of spots with the pockets.
Silver rips them out.
He does. He bumps him and rips them out
and chews them.
Eats them to absorb his power.
That's my theory anyway. I don't know if it but where else would his power lie?
It's
that or the sunglasses.
Yeah, and the sunglasses come off sometimes. So that's not it. So now Orange Cassidy is pocketless, and so this match goes on, and it's just so much fun.
It is
to watch Cassidy work without really working.
Yeah, and the Dark Order is great too, because the Dark Order, I mean, is great as a group because they're just like Saturday morning cartoon villains.
They are, and I'll tell you, John Silver in particular, he is always, for lack of a better term, the jobber of this group. Well, they're all jobbers, it seems to be, but out of the funniest jobber of them all is clearly Silver.
Yes.
I want to see more of him. I want to see.
He's great. He brought an intensity to that was bizarre, and it was wonderful.
It was, because I think what makes it so good is just his build. His build is very odd. He's got some short T-Rex arms, but he's jacked.
Oh yeah, no, I remember we were talking about. He has. I think
he's got Buddy Murphy syndrome is what he's got.
He's kind of in that bruiserweight territory with Pete Dunne. I tried to explain it to myself out loud as he looks like if you took a little person and just like stretched them out till they were like average height, but didn't fix proportions.
Right.
It was kind of like that.
And then you've got number 4. Yeah. Well, Orange Cassidy goes over. Just a fantastic match. Guys, if you haven't seen this pay-per-view, I definitely recommend going and watching Omega. Don't even worry about the buy-in. It's not worth it. Start at the beginning of the pay-per-view. Omega.
Yeah, if you can get your hands on it, don't bother with the buy-in, because they will replay all those interviews and everything too. So
yeah.
They do have a little bit of WWE syndrome that way.
Just a great match. Orange Cassidy goes over on John Silver. I love this match. I gave it a 3.5 Meltzer, which brings us into our first title match for the evening, and that's gonna be challenging for the TNT Championship, the one that we love to die. Darby Allin.
Oh, he's trying.
Derpy Allin.
Hey.
He comes in.
The spooky, scary skeleton himself.
Half spooky skeleton. He comes in on top of this old jalopy with another spooky skeleton driving it.
Yes.
Skateboard in hand. Pulls up.
Oh, it was, and then in the front was half spray painted to say the face of TNT.
Yeah, that's it. Takes the skateboard and smashes the window.
Yes.
Just because.
Look, it's his Uber. He can do what he wants.
He's not going to get a good rating.
No.
I don't know. I hope he's riding home with the Bucks, because
I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't either. Balding Buck's hair is getting everywhere.
Nick, we figured out it was he's Nick. I don't remember.
Is he Nick?
He is Nick. I don't remember who the other one is.
Matt.
It would be Nat. Okay.
So he comes out after smashing his Uber, And then we have Cody and his entourage. He's got.
That's the only thing I wouldn't like about being part of the Nightmare Family is you're required to show up at his entrance every time. It's like,
and he couldn't get enough people, so he had to bring in the Gun Club too. They're not even part of the damn family.
And who else? There was some. Was it?
There was some black guy out there that I did not recognize.
Was it not the member of S?
No. That's Scorpio Sky.
Yeah, it wasn't him.
No. I was a young kid. I had never seen him before. He's probably on Dark. I just started watching Dark.
Right. Yeah.
Incidentally, I want to talk to you. There's a new tag team that we'll talk about.
Okay.
We'll talk about it off the air.
Sounds good.
They're great. Cody comes out there, and I've been thinking about this for a while because since Cody got the TNT title, he's been doing the open challenge type thing.
Yes. Yes.
And he's kind of playing the cocky heel. Except he's not really heel.
Yeah, but he's definitely incorporating those manners, especially in this match.
I think he's doing this. He's kind of going tweener-esque just to garner sympathy for whoever his opponent is.
I can see that.
So, yeah, and there was no shortage of that in this match.
Oh, no.
He's doing push-ups.
He did Steiner push-ups. And he downed a Darby Allin at one point and just started doing the Steiner push-ups. And it's like, and all that was missing was kissing the bicep at the end.
Yeah, Arn's getting on his ass about it.
Yeah.
And there was some...
There was the weight belt spot, too.
Oh, yeah. The match goes on, and... Darby, he showed up.
Oh, yeah.
But it kind of felt a little bit like Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso, except it was good.
A little, yeah. There wasn't like a prolonged, dialogue heavy segment.
Called me the TNT champion.
Yeah, no, Darby instead spent most of his time flinging himself at Cody Rhodes and smashing into things.
Yeah.
Which is what you want.
Exactly. And, Cody did stroll around the ring methodically.
I do appreciate this match because in any other place, I mean, Darby Allin would only show up in the X division or the cruiserweight section,
It is, and I believe they said Darby Allin is weighing in at 152.
Okay, yeah.
He's lost 3 pounds.
It's very obvious next to Cody. He's who's got the advantage physically.
Yeah.
Which may be why the push-ups happened.
You gotta. Okay, I gotta talk to Darby here. You gotta get some body weight, man. Because you're going to die.
At the end of the match, it looked like he did.
Yeah.
Actually, at the end of every Darby Allin match, it looks like he did.
Well, eventually, if it hasn't already happened, and I'm just forgetting about it, or maybe I repressed it, he's going to have to get in the ring with Brian Cage.
Well, he was in the free for all for the poker chip. Mm-hmm. He coffin dropped and Cage slammed him into, I forget what, but he slammed him into something.
He's going to have a singles match with Cage at some point, and I don't think Cage knows exactly how strong he is. And moreover, I don't think he realizes how light Darby Allin is. And I think he's going to throw him into the 5th row, and he's just going to die. and
I believe you mentioned this because after Darby Allin's kind of surprise win over Cody and capturing the title, who should come out?
Oh, yeah.
But Taz's boys, Brian Cage, and who's the other one?
Ricky Starks.
Ricky Starks, yeah.
Yeah. Who I just watched TNA Dark, and Starks was doing commentary. Oh, maybe we ought to stick to wrestling.
Now, did Taz school him in commentary too?
Oh, God. Oh, it was Taz, Ricky Starks, and Excalibur. And
Right, the Dream Team.
ooh, it was tough, man. I was like, okay, that's why this is AEW Dark. This is just they're just trying stuff right now.
Yeah.
This is where you experiment. You do it on the internet. That's how it's done. Woof. That was bad stuff. But yes, Darby Allin ends up. I did not like this finish.
Okay.
I understand Darby Allin had to win this. We've done Orange Cassidy twice. We've done Darby Allin, and we have to do it. And the way just we're stacking those titles with Cody, who can. It was also he got his name back.
Yes, he did. WWE dropped the trademark on Cody Rhodes.
And they couldn't wait to say Cody Rhodes. I mean, what's the announcement? Justin something?
Oh, it's what's his name? He was in WWE previously. Justin, shoot.
Yeah, the Jern Merkley guy.
Oh yeah, everyone loves that. Everyone we watch with loves that.
He took great delight in going Rhodes.
I think it's like Justin Roberts or something like that.
That sounds right.
I'm looking it up.
But yeah, he took his own sweet time about bellowing out Rhodes.
Yeah, it's Roberts.
And okay, and that was nice to hear. Even
it's
though
nice when a man's allowed to use his name.
Yeah, even though Cody was kind of cool with just going by Cody.
Yeah,
and because apparently you're allowed to. The commentary is allowed to say his name, Cody Rhodes, and promos can be Cody Rhodes, but you can't announce him as Cody Rhodes.
Right. Weird
how stuff like that works.
I can't remember the exact reason, but like the trademark was dropped because of some sort of important addition to the filing was missing or not signed off on.
Yeah.
So they couldn't. So they were like, you can't keep this trademark without that. So they just dropped it. Because they also dropped Brock Lesnar's.
I saw that. And that's very interesting too. We'll talk about that later on.
Sure.
Well. Darby Allin is now your new AEW TNT champion.
That's dynamite.
But no, the way he won with the roll up was what he hit the coffin drop.
Yes, he did.
Why?
But they didn't give him the pin off that. No.
Yeah. Why didn't we go for that? That should have been. Man, you want to talk about a hard pop? Would have been he hits the coffin drop and boom, just 1, 2, 3, that pop.
I don't know because it just seems like seems like a way to save Cody a bit, because that way you write off as it was a surprise.
Yeah, I guess, but see, also nobody has finisher. That way you have your favorite moves, but nobody has a finisher anymore. But personally, I think that's something that needs to come back, and that's something else that's coming up. We're going to be talking about that here in a minute, too.
Sure.
Way too many finishers that are going on. Darby Allin should have died several times during this match.
He always ends up looking like he did.
Yeah.
That's the trademark right up there with the coffin drop.
And I was begging for Cody to sucker punch him and give him the Pearl Harbor job.
Yeah. But no, Cody did the honorable thing, gives him the belt.
He took a knee and gave it to him. I was like, oh, God. I don't like Darby that much.
Cody does.
Well, that's disgusting.
Well, plus he still needed to be seen in a good light because they're setting up them versus Taz's guys. So
right,
because they come in, they wreck house on Cody and Darby. Darby they lay out on the hood of his car.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, and they're going to,
which I thought was a lovely image. It's like he's won the title, and then now sprawled unconscious on his car, right by the sign that says the face of TNT is Darby Allin.
Right. So they're going. Cage and Starks. They put the boots to Allin. They carry him out to his jalopy. And their intention is to break his arm in the door.
Oh, yeah. They were, yeah.
And just as they're getting ready to slam that door, who should come out but Will Hobbs? The jobber that made a debut maybe 6-7 weeks ago. And apparently Cody really likes that dude because he's been showing up. Randomly ever since then. So, we're probably looking at Will Hobbs and
Allin,
for a tag team.
That's a good point. I forgot about that. Yeah, because Rhodes will probably go do his own thing, and those two will be feuding with Taz's guys.
I think eventually we're going to have to do we got to do Cody Omega. We got to do Cody Hangman. That's going to have to be done.
Sure.
I don't know if we're going to do it this year or not. I think next year it's one of those is an inevitability. Moving into our next match, and this, I'll be honest, guys, this is your popcorn match. We have the AEW Women's World Championship.
It was weird's a good term.
Yeah.
Mostly because
it was methodical.
It was. I was happy to see that the Vicky Guerrero is working in AEW now.
Yeah.
That was a positive for me.
Yeah.
Because she's finally doing her character justice.
It's nice. We only got like maybe one excuse me.
Yeah. That's what I meant. It's like it was excuse me, and she was going full Karen, which to be fair to her should be Vicky. Because she was doing it way before it was a meme.
I agree.
As a character. And it was just excuse me, and she had the mannerisms and the yelling and everything, but it wasn't just excuse me 20 different times in a row.
Right. I like Sheeta.
Yeah.
I do. And I like Nyla Rose. I like Nyla Rose a lot more than I'll be honest, Nyla Rose is probably my favorite in the women's division.
I liked during this match, at least to me, the way it seemed to be playing out, especially with Vicky there, was Nyla Rose they were pushing it, at least to me, as like Nyla Rose talks a big game. She talks, she she's pushing how tough she is, and and she's a beast, she's a monster. But when someone starts actually fighting back proper, she turns tail. Yeah. And that's the way she was going in the ring, kind of. And I liked the way they were doing that.
But it was pissing me off.
No, here's the thing. No, it worked for me. But at the same time, they were also doing something with Sheeta, where at a certain point, she decided, I'm done selling. And she turned into a fucking powerhouse.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy going on there, and I gotta be careful how I say this. It is my wish, it is my hope that Nyla Rose being with Vicky is and the way Vicky's treating her throughout the match and after the match,
especially after the match,
is going. I don't want her to be face. I'm not ready for that yet.
It's going for one of two things: either because after the match, Sheeta retained.
Yeah.
And after the match, Vicky starts browbeating Nyla Rose, and that goes one of two ways in a wrestling way. It goes either the way it went, which is
she caves in.
Nyla caves in
and shows her belly,
and she's upset, but she goes along with it. Or it goes the Heenan Andre way, which is Heenan loses his cool on Andre. Andre reminds him that he's Andre.
I don't want it to go that way. Because yes, we need a we need a super baby in the women's division.
Yeah.
But we also need a super heel, and we don't have either one of them right now.
We do, and the way I'd like to see it go is Nyla be like, I don't need you, Vicky. Throw her off, throw her away, and then go back to where she basically started at.
See, I kind of want her to go, and this is what got me thinking about this. That is a Guerrero on the outside. And I don't know if you remember the WCW spot where Eddie started trying to train Chavo, and Chavo started going a little bit crazy, and he brought out his horse Pepe.
Oh yes, yeah.
And he started hitting people with Pepe, and he goes, "Look, Eddie, look, I'm cheating to win." And if we can go that route, well, I'm not saying comedy, just I want Nyla to go a little crazy.
Oh sure,
like I want her to be the beast.
Vicky creates a monster she can't control.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. And that direction I think would be a lot of fun.
Sure.
And then there's really only one person that can legitimately stop Nyla Rose, and that is Awesome Kong.
Oh, sure.
And I think again, this is my dream. I hope that's why Awesome Kong hasn't been on television, because we're saving this.
I hope so.
Because this is going to be, we're going to unleash
really
this
cool.
next year when we get crowds back, because people are going to lose their mind.
Yeah, and not to take anything away from Sheeta. Sheeta is a great performer.
Sure.
There's nothing to her for me right now, though.
No, Sheeta is. She's vanilla.
Kinda, yeah.
What was it? Was it Shelby that actually? I think Shelby was the one that actually said that Saturday. I could be wrong about that, but
maybe not exactly those words. But yeah, I kind of.
There is no meat on that bone.
Kinda,
it's just she's a ninja, and a silver one at that, and.
Well, no, she's a JRPG character because her default ring gear is Tifa from Final Fantasy.
That's true. There was a few times where Sheeta just absolutely started no-selling,
and I think, honestly, I get that Sheeta is a powerhouse in her own right, but she should...
She ain't that much of a powerhouse.
Well, I mean, that's how they portray her, especially like we saw the AEW game commercial, teaser earlier today, and that's how they portrayed her in that too.
Sure.
But I feel like, there should have been more effort. Yeah. Definitely more effort on her end to do the things she did to Nyla Rose.
Absolutely. Without question.
Yeah. I'm all for her, I'm all for suspending the disbelief and being like, yeah, she did it. But it needs to be, not exactly, but somewhere up toward the range of Andre, getting slammed by Hogan.
Now, as far as that goes, I'm saying
up toward that range.
Sure. Absolutely. No, I'm with you.
Like, you gotta work for it.
Yeah. I'm okay with her picking her up, Samoan drop, maybe even a slam, suplex here and there.
Because that uses momentum a lot of the times. Especially with Samoan drops, it's like judo. It's like they run at you, and you use that weight, and you just take the momentum of that weight and just slam it.
I'd like to see her sell it a little more.
Sure. She kind of just stopped selling at some points too.
It's just she just did it, and I think this is one of many, many problems that the women's division in AEW has. Is there's not the naturalistic stuff. You got to put it over. You are 135 pounds. That woman is damn near 300, if not over.
This is more of a disparity than Allen Rhodes.
Yeah, I'll grant you that you can probably pick her up. You're a wrestler.
Yes.
We've seen that. can you struggle a little? And when she hits you, damn it, you gotta, you need to fly out of the ring.
She
Because
seems tougher if it's more difficult if it looks more difficult for you.
It's build the staircase, guys.
Yeah.
Build the staircase. I can't say it enough.
I saw way more give from Rose than I saw from Sheeta.
Yeah, she is sold. She doesn't know how to be the monster.
Yeah,
I think that's. I think if she needs to talk to Awesome Kong.
Yeah,
because man, that's a woman right there.
There's some stuff in there that Rose should have blatantly no sold.
Mm-hmm. Now, the match was fine. I was a little. I'm a little iffy on that go home.
Yeah.
I'm a little iffy on Nyla not going over because I'm sorry. It's just after that performance for Nyla not to go over, it doesn't make sense to me. For that, and the match went on too damn long and it didn't go anywhere. For that reason, I gave it a 1.5 Meltzer.
It had a way different feel than which they touched on the match they had back in March.
Right. Yeah. I need to see more from the women's division. Damn it. I don't. And Tony Khan, let me. I know you're a fan. I know you're listening. Let me talk to you. And I mean this with no disrespect to the ladies, but if your women's division cannot get any better than what's happening, then that division needs to go away until it can produce a quality product. I want to see it. The fans want to see it, but they also want to see something good. And you're not doing AEW any favors by putting them on television and being subpar or below. So it's step it up, guys. Step it up. I've said it a million times. I'll say it a million more. There are 7 wrestlers in professional wrestlers that are women that are the standard. Follow them, learn them, love them, mimic them. If you can't make that standard, then you can't do this right now. It's maybe one day, but you got to be able to meet that standard. Okay, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I'm gonna get on another soapbox.
Speaking of things I'd like to see less of, the Young Bucks.
The Young Bucks.
Do they have control over the length of their matches?
This is something else.
This is the longest match of the night.
It is.
It was 28.5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And get a little bit of those headphones there.
There you go.
I'm going to tell you, man, I went back, as I usually do, I go back and I watch the pay-per-view a second time. Going back and watching this, I figured it out. I know what the problem is here.
Okay.
The problem is not FTR.
Absolutely not.
And
who are now faces, in my opinion, after this match.
No, they are. They absolutely are.
And the Bucks are the heels. They better be portrayed as heels because they have been for a while in my head, and now they definitely are in the ring.
Yeah, they are. Nothing here made sense. Nothing. I feel like the Young Bucks booked this match themselves. They choreographed it by themselves, and they determined the finish by themselves. I got a lot of... Now, please don't misunderstand me, because I'm going to
Also, they teased the hell out of us, because if the Young Bucks lost, they wouldn't get to challenge for the tag titles anymore.
That's true. That is very true. Now, guys, don't get me wrong, because I'm going to pick the shit out of this thing. However, I loved this match.
It was a great match.
It was great, but there's a lot of problems.
Especially the 12 opportunities they had to stop it before they did.
Okay.
That would have landed this match in, hey, that was great territory for me.
Right. Now, okay, let's start with the obvious elephant in the room. I can't handle 150 finishers in a row. I hate to put on my Jim Cornette pants, but come on, man. There's got to there's going to be a point to where there already is a point, and it's now.
Yeah.
You can only do so many finishers before I stop caring.
Yeah. There should be a max. I mean, there should be if a match is going long enough and is good enough that there are those spots where it's like, oh, they hit the finisher, but he's too tired. He's too wiped out. He takes too long to get to the pin. That's fine.
If you can explain it away like that, cool, man.
But if you're just kicking out of a finisher.
But I can't tell you how many times during this match I see Balding Buck over in the corner peeking over the apron, waiting for his spot to come in to break up the tag.
There was a great moment where I can't remember if it was either Dax or Cash. Mm-hmm. This was preceded by a point where one of the FTR get blindsided from the side. We make a joke about there's no peripheral vision in wrestling.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one, either Dax or Cash. I think it might have been.
It was Dax, I believe.
Is Dax the bald one?
Yeah, Dax is the bald one.
Okay, that's okay. Dax charges Cash goes for a pin, and Dax charges in like in every wrestling video game to stop the other guy from interfering.
Yeah.
He charges across. I presumed Nick Balding Buck was gonna get in the ring and try to get past and stop the pin. But what happens is Nick stays out on the apron while Dax charges into him head on, knocks him off the ringside. The apron. Just straight on. As though Nick's vision was just where at the level he was standing at, and Dax had come under it.
Yeah.
And just crashed into him.
As if Road Warrior Buck, I don't know, Matt, as if Matt was a T-Rex. And he couldn't see.
Nick was Balding Buck.
Yeah, you're right. As if he was a T-Rex and just couldn't see anything unless it actually had to do something crazy. If it wasn't doing a super kick or a flip, he couldn't see it. It's
his movement is based on flippy shit.
Which brings me, I guess the way I'm going to have to do this is we're going to have to do a insult sandwich.
Okay.
So, speaking of all that, Cash Wheeler is my new favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
Holy shit, did he show up to play?
Yeah, he did. And poor Dax, whose I don't forget which hand got split the fuck open.
Yeah, it got split open. But Cash did a 450.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
It didn't no payoff on it, but still, he was burning around that ring like he was trying to set the place on fire.
Tonight it was flips and fists.
Yeah, I mean he brought his A++ game.
He did.
I've always loved FTR. I am willing to marry them both now.
That's still not legal.
Well, it's they're afraid of our love is what it is. That's the government is afraid of our love. For
okay, 3.
All right. You know, I'm saying a lot of things.
It is. Dave's not taking any of them out.
So, all right. So, yeah, Cash Wheeler was bloody fantastic Saturday. He showed up. He brought the A game. Now, Okay, let's bring it back down for a second.
Well, hold on. And I thought Dax's injury was a work until they had to pull him off to the side, and on camera you see them furiously taping it.
I'm still not 100%
Yeah?
that it wasn't a work.
I feel like it was I feel like it was real. I don't know.
It may have
I've been fooled before.
Yeah, it's a weird place.
But man, it was getting everywhere.
Yeah, it's an odd place to stop. You know, and it's seemingly tied in. Well, I mean, sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked rough, but the match didn't miss a beat, or it didn't seem to miss a beat because of it.
See, I don't know, because if it was like fake blood, or they, or because I don't think they would have like.
I don't think. I mean, I
wouldn't have.
No, I mean, I don't see anybody juicing right.
Yeah,
there. I mean, maybe they would. Maybe they're badass.
What
I don't
makes
know.
me think it was real was because it kept bleeding over the bandage.
Yeah, I was like, man, the Nashville boys are crazy.
Yeah.
So it's
like you. I mean, if you were working this, you wouldn't keep fake. You wouldn't even keep doing fake blood over that if you could help it.
But I don't know if it was a work or not.
It looked like an SNL or Mad TV or any sort of sketch comedy moment where they do blood in a scene. But anytime they do it, it's just like it's everywhere. It's just like continually just.
And I mean the only thing I can say is maybe it wasn't, because his hand continued to bleed.
Oh, it did.
Through the whole match.
Like I think it was legit.
It very well may have. It's but the thing about it, it's a testament to how good.
Oh yeah.
These
happened,
guys are, because
kind of early.
It didn't seem to interrupt the flow of anything.
It happened kind of early, and they were determined to not shorten this match.
Yeah. And then there was another point where Dax had to stop, and it was because he was bleeding again. And but again, it didn't interrupt anything.
Yeah.
So it was interesting.
So back out of this. So we're finishing the sandwich.
The sandwich, right? Let's see. I lost my train of thought on that one. This is something else. Balding Buck has a legit knee injury.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Was it Balding Buck or
Nick or Matt?
I can't remember which one of them has a legit knee injury. But anyway, so they started they started selling their knee.
Right.
And they're obviously, I think it was Nick. It was Nick that was working, and he was doing all his usual spots and whatnot. But he would stop and he'd sell his knee for a little bit, and which makes this finish weird. Yeah. Because I heard through Dave Meltzer or the Wrestling Observer.
Yeah.
That he's going to have surgery soon. Like very soon. Like
I imagine with their wrestling style, sooner rather than later is you got to handle a knee injury.
It was my understanding that he was going to have to take some time off. Well, why did we put the titles on him? What was that about? And you're selling your knee during this whole match, so that tells me you're looking to do this soon. So I guess my main question is what do we do this for? What was this whole thing about? What is this life?
Don't know. I suppose that's just one more reason their little entrance video starts with killing the business.
Yeah. That, and FTR hasn't had those belts very long.
No.
I mean,
when did they
2 months?
About, yeah.
When was the what was the last pay-per-view?
Oh, yeah, it was sometime over the summer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Late summer.
No, we were
like September?
Yeah, it was September because we were in the new house.
That's right, yeah.
So yeah, it was September.
You moved into a new house. I did not.
Yeah. we don't live together. I'm saving that spare bedroom for cash.
What does Dax get?
He can stay in that room too.
Oh, I see.
Fine. we're gonna work it out. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna be happy.
Is Tully just popping by every so often?
We haven't discussed Tully or Kara, for that matter. I don't know where Kara's gonna sleep.
That Harry Potter closet that you guys have up in your bedroom?
Maybe. But yeah. So I don't know, man. This. I also thought this finish was weird. You hit the slingshot spiked power driver.
Yes.
And this pissed me off that night when that happened. And you didn't get a 3 count on that.
Yeah, they got out of that, and it's like they recovered too quick from a bunch of stuff.
Way too quick.
We're suddenly just getting out of their the FTR's big stuff.
Yeah, and this goes back to, again, there's no ring psychology in here at all. This was just, they again started great. You started stacking, but when the rules went out the window, the rules went out the window. Everything went out the window. Selling went out the window. Strategy goes out the window. And I'm not saying it's garbage, and I'm not putting it down, because I thought it was a fantastic match, but we saw 30, 40, not just finishers, but if it were 10 years ago, they would be career enders. Mm-hmm. I mean, it would be one of those things where if you hit something like this,
and so many better moments to stop the match.
Yeah.
So
and the whole staircase was built wrong on this. And because of that, like I say, it was 28 minutes for this type of a match. That's not a terribly long time.
I don't know about the crowd in the arena, but the crowd with us watching it, they had us. They had us, and then we all heard the room just kind of tune out, just like go, okay, this is going too long.
Yeah, but it's and that's the thing. If you can. You didn't have to cut 10 minutes off this match. Mm-mm. If you could just pull it back, like if that's you giving me your best, call that a 10 and give me a 7 next time.
Yeah.
It's like most of the time in wrestling, anybody that's ever been in theater before has heard the saying less is more. In wrestling, 99% of the time, that is the gospel.
Yep, and we were watching that with a bunch of theater people.
Right. Now, it's not always true in theater, and it's not always true in wrestling, but most of the time in wrestling, less is more, especially on television, which it was. So, you can pull back some of these finishers. You don't have to wrestle like you're on the indie circuit every single night. And I understand you wanting to do that, and that desire and that pull to let's go for boom, that's it. Oh, we got a big pop. As that, come on, let's go for a bigger one. Let's go for a bigger one. Okay, let's think of a pop as sex, okay? And let's just go with me for a second here. Most of the time, you can only pop in the bedroom 2, maybe 3. Most of the time, sometimes only once, but most of the time it's twice, maybe 3 times. After that, ain't nothing else going to happen.
It's called a refractory period, and it gets longer as time goes on.
Yeah, and at that point, you're just pissing the lady off. So, it's time to... After...
Much like this metaphor, it's time to end it.
Yes. So, what you need to do, after that third big spot, it's time to go home. And yeah, it's, man, but listen, I know I'm shitting on it a lot. But again, this was a great match. No, not too much thanks to the Young Bucks, mostly because of FTR and Cash Wheeler. God, he was amazing.
Here's the thing. A good match, as you're right. A good match is a good match, but when you turn in a 28.5-minute match, there's so much more to criticize for good or for ill.
Right.
So if you're gonna go that long, you got to be certain you got it all locked in.
Now, at this point,
it's a little bit of hubris to think you can just go 28 minutes every time.
Yeah, I gave this match a 3.5.
Yeah.
We have new AEW Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, the Bucks won for some reason.
Yeah, which is weird because they're going to go have surgery. So why? You've got two amazing tag team players. I will argue that is the best tag team in the world today. No questions asked. FTR. Why you wouldn't leave it on them? Who's to say? But yeah, they now have the World Tag Team Championships. 3.5, not bad, but guys, y'all can do better than this. Now, let's go into our other one. Now,
speaking of too much, let's get theatrical.
Let's talk about the Elite Deletion match. Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara. Now, a lot of people groan when I say Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara because, my God, we've done this. People are talking about how this feud is cursed because it started bad, and just every time they meet up, something terrible happens.
So let's get weird.
Yeah. So they said, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to get some cameras. We're going out to the Hardy compound in Cameron, and let's make some movie magic, shall we?
Something happened.
So I'm going to try to talk you through this if I can. I'm going to miss a little bit here and there.
You're going to miss so much.
Oh, yeah, because there's a lot that happened. So Sammy pulls up in his golf cart. Again, another callback. It says Spanish God on the front of it, and why wouldn't it?
These two have a history of running over each other with golf carts.
Yeah. He pulls up. There's a little kid's toy, and he looks at it for a second and then promptly runs over it.
Because he's evil.
Well, he looks to the side. Oh, no. First of all, Vanguard comes down. That would be Neo. What was the other?
I don't remember.
It doesn't matter.
It died.
The droid.
The drone.
The drone, thank you.
The drone. Now, this isn't just any drone. This drone has a message via hologram Matt Hardy.
Yeah. And he pops out and he does his little thing and he turns around and here is Matt Hardy in a monster truck. And proceeds to destroy the golf cart with Sammy in it.
A callback to the classic Ace Ventura 2, When Nature Calls.
Yeah.
That's how I'm taking it.
Yeah. Now, obviously, Sammy, with his cat-like reflexes, hops out before his golf cart gets destroyed.
Which is good, because they've missed on this.
Sneaks around the back, and gives Matt Hardy the Pearl Harbor job. They're putting the boots to Hardy. He climbs up on one of the wheels, does a moonsault.
We're just getting started.
And then they go fighting through the trees. And I swear to God, I halfway thought we were going to see Strowman and The Fiend fighting somewhere in the background.
Morning, Sam. Morning, Ralph. I thought Slender Man was just going to show up.
I was kind of hoping. I was like, please do a callback on this. They never did, but it's okay.
No, they instead get to somewhere near the front lawn of the Hardy compound.
Yeah, they got to the front lawn.
I'll say first wrestling ring.
Yeah. Well, before they did that, they fought around literally the front yard.
Yes.
Where there seemed to be somebody looking through the window. No point to that. Just what we thought.
Why wouldn't there be a shadow in the window? It's the Hardy compound.
Yeah. They fall on past that to a strange looking building.
They didn't go in that building at first.
They didn't go in the building. No, not that building.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Just a strange looking circus type building.
Oh, right. The
circus. With a fence around it.
Yes. We're not explaining this. Continue on.
Yeah, nothing to see here. Just kept on moving.
Do you want more information, listener? Well, you're not getting any because that's all you got to see.
Fuck you, Hardys. It's we're going in here, and so now we come up to a wrestling ring, and now for some damn reason, Private Party shows up.
Well. It's a private party, and we're all invited.
And you can't have Private Party without Proud and Powerful.
No, didn't Proud and Powerful get there first?
It might have been Proud, yeah.
Yeah, because they make it to, like I said, the first wrestling ring in this area.
Mm-hmm. In the woods. Just in the woods. Because
look,
not?
You never know when a Hardy's just going to want to just pop into a wrestling ring while out on a walk. So.
Right. So you keep several around the compound, so because you don't know.
For emergency wrestling purposes.
Right.
And here we are.
So, poof, out of nowhere, 2 tag teams show up and just start wrestling. Does it have anything to do with this? No.
Which is hilarious because at some point we lose Guevara and Hardy.
Yeah.
And then it's just Proud and Powerful and Private Party going at it.
Yeah. So, then we cut back over to Matt Hardy, who's got a giant Roman candle.
He's got several, but he's got Roman candles.
So now we're having a Roman candle fight.
They start using them like they're automatic rifles.
Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I was a little pissed off, but I was also a little jealous because I have anybody that has done a Roman candle fight or war in the woods, you know as well as I do, that shit is awesome.
Yes.
It's so much. I mean, whether you get hit or burned or what, it doesn't matter. It's awesome.
Matt had his on his shoulder like a bazooka. Sammy was camped on a hill like an infantryman.
Yeah.
Fire. It was like a war movie.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere like this was just near the ring where Proud and Powerful and Private Party were still going at it.
At some point, it cut back to them, and then they ducked and covered.
They're not the people who can win this match.
No, they just
they are fighting.
So, something else happens, and Guevara starts to turn heel and starts to asshole and elbows away from as Matt Hardy's chasing him with Roman candles.
Yes.
And he falls in the symbolic mud. Now, this is a take back, and this took me because I didn't catch it.
Yes.
I did catch it the second time because I didn't hear JR say, "Hey Sammy, get out of the mud. They're going to think it's a mud show." Which I'm sorry to say, I do listen to the Jim Cornette Experience, and he has called. He loves to call AEW a mud show. Yeah, and so Sammy's trying to swim through the mud. He keeps trying to get up. He's falling all over it. Finally gets up. It's still being shot at with Roman candles.
Yes. Hardy has not run out yet.
Finally, he gets he gets up, gets to walk away, and he gets by the lake that they called something. They called it the Lake of something.
It was a call, the Lake of Reincarnation.
There you go.
Because it's a callback to, I guess, some online videos that the Hardys had done previously.
Yeah. And he runs into a shadowy, lurking character who turned out to be none other than WWE legend Gangrel.
No, wait, was that before or after the Hurricane showed up?
I think Gangrel showed up first, if I remember.
Because he was wearing a mask at first. Gangrel was.
Yes,
he was a mystery assassin.
Yeah, it might have. No, I'm pretty sure it was Gangrel first.
Because I thought it was Hurricane. Guevara throws him in the water, and then he shows back up as mild-mannered Gregory Helms, ace reporter.
that totally did happen later.
Okay.
It's because Gangrel shows up, fangs and all.
Yes. Oh, we were almost off our seats. It's Gangrel.
And again, we watch pay-per-view with young people, and nobody knew who Gangrel was. It's a damn shame.
He's the reason you know about Edge and Christian.
He is the reason that Edge and Christian are there.
Once upon a time, there was something called The Brood.
And the coolest intro ever.
And then, funny enough, when Edge and Christian left The Brood, Matt and Jeff Hardy were the new Brood.
Yes, they were. So that happens. They're fighting, and then Gangrel just he fucks off somewhere, and then here comes Hurricane Helms.
Yes,
in full regalia.
Yes,
and they stop, and they have a conversation about where have you been? Why are you here? What's going on? Matt then replies, "Hey, I had to finish this storyline because WWE is famous for not finishing stories, and they hate long stories." So, and he was like, "Oh, okay." And then they go right back to it, and
and like I said, Hurricane gets dumped in the water, and then
Sammy throws him into the lake. Seconds later, there is the mild
reporter, Gregory Helms.
Gregory Helms comes up with his Sherlock Holmes outfit on.
Well, it's classic press hat, kind of.
Yeah. It's just so... Well, we do a flashback.
Yes.
And not a flashback, but hard cut. Private Party and Proud and Powerful are still in the ring.
They are into this match.
I mean...
That they're not a part of officially.
Yeah. There's a ref.
Yes, there's a ref in that
that's counting for them,
which will do nothing.
I don't know why.
Nothing will happen if one of them gets a pinfall.
They fought back around that, and then they moved to another part of the compound.
Gangrel joined that match at one point.
He did, yeah.
They all move into the ring at one point, and they
just because. This fight moves into another part of the compound where there's another warehouse.
Yes.
At this point, they're putting the boots to Hardy, and Gangrel helps out. Thank you for that.
Yes.
Picks him, and Proud and Powerful pick him up, and they decide they're gonna. No. I'm sorry. Maybe it's. Well, do I have it backwards?
Well, sort of. It's sort of. They fight into. Okay. Guevara and Hardy fight their way into the warehouse you're talking about, and Hardy manages to close the door and lock the Gangrel and Proud and Powerful out. They're trying to find a way in.
That's what it was. Okay.
But then the match beyond starts, and Guevara and Hardy complete with a ref. A ref got in there somehow.
Because wrestling.
Yes.
They're just this is the second ring.
He was there after everything loaded in. And so they are now fighting in a warehouse, and I will describe what's in the warehouse.
And what was in the warehouse, Chris?
Another wrestling ring, for first thing, which has I would say like a 20-foot ladder in it.
Yeah. Wonder if that'll be used.
There's at least one or two different tables set up.
Yeah. Wonder if those will be used.
I think I'm skipping over something. It might be the grand piano in the corner.
Wonder if that'll be played.
Surprisingly, not immediately.
No. Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, there's.
And what else?
I can't remember. Just the piano stole every other memory I have of that room.
There was also a coffin in there.
That's right. Oh, we spent the entirety of the rest of that match because they kept positioning the coffin in the background of this match going, okay, we were staring at who's coming out of that coffin.
Yeah. So now all of you at home that haven't seen this match are wondering, well, who was in the coffin?
No one.
Well, we were. Because we had blinders on.
Yes.
Nothing was in the damn coffin. It stayed shut the whole time, even though they kept dick teasing the coffin.
The coffin was just a red herring.
Yeah.
So they fight some more.
Just tag in here.
They have packed like almost 3 times as much as what happened in the 28.5-minute match into a match that was 10 minutes shorter.
The whole pay-per-view, as far as gimmicks go, didn't even come close to the gimmicks that were in this match.
Guevara and Hardy, they fight some more, and it ends with
3 of them were title belts.
So it ends with I think Matt Hardy finally sends Guevara through a table and gets the pin.
Yeah.
And then before it's all, that's the end of the match. However, what happens next is
Matt Hardy's wife starts playing the piano.
Not just playing it. She's in a nice 3-piece get up.
Yeah.
Just playing
elegantly
the piano,
dressed because why wouldn't you?
As though she checked the watch. Oh, it's 8 p.m. It's piano in the warehouse time.
Yeah.
The only thing was missing was a nice big cup to put tips in.
Right.
While she's playing, she's basically playing off Guevara because Matt takes Guevara, drops him into a trash can
with the help of
Private Party. They find their way in. One of the big roll ones, and they pick it up, they load it into a truck, and they drive off with Proud and Powerful and Gangrel giving chase.
Yeah. And that ends this match.
The end.
Oh my God. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hey, Doggz.
That was Looney Tunes Bananas.
What are you going to rate this? I can't.
Not applicable.
Because this is in A. This is gets a 0. Not that I didn't enjoy it. I thought this was the most entertaining thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It was great,
and technically a match started and concluded.
True.
Which is more going for than the swamp fight.
Right. However, I just can't. These theatrical things.
A rating wouldn't be fair for this.
I can't do it. So it's not that I didn't enjoy it, but I'm sorry. This gets 0. I can't give it any Meltzers.
Just a blank score. Yeah. Because to give it a score based on how you do it, it has to be a match.
Yeah.
A traditional match.
Yeah. And while there was wrestling,
and there was a match, and it was concluded, it's just
it wasn't.
The environment it occurred in renders this unavailable for scoring.
Right. So, boy.
So while you're trying to recover from that, up next.
So now we come to our semi-main, and boy, let me tell you, we have MJF, Maxwell, Jacob Freeman versus the demo god.
Le Champion?
Thank you. Le Champion. Chris Jericho Y2J.
Happy 50th, by the way.
Indeed. He just had his birthday. And
yesterday, actually.
Yeah. And man, let me tell you, for a 50-year-old, that was an incredible match. Mm-hmm. He's doing the lion salt.
Oh, yeah, he busted out stuff I did not think he was going to do.
And
he busted out a lion salt that was not, it wasn't just like I'm just going to do it real quick. It was over half the ring.
It was. And the thing about it is, I've seen him in his 30s do that lion salt and not go as far and almost crack his noggin.
Yes.
he went over halfway across the ring and nailed it.
Yeah, he did.
Now, I mean, he got he had to get his hands up because it got close. Mm-hmm. But regardless, he got it done. This match was everything that you wanted, but from these two.
Yes,
Old
absolutely.
Lion versus Young Lion. A lot of times heel versus heel doesn't work. Same thing with face versus face. It doesn't really work, and you end up getting bored and you're kind of done with it. That is not the case from these two spectacular professionals.
And it ended the way it absolutely should have.
Yeah. I don't even want to tell you a lot about it because I want you to go.
It's worth going to watch.
Yeah, I want you to watch it, but I am going to spoil it for you. So, the spoiler goes like this. At some point, MJF goes to Wardlow to get the ring that he usually uses to end the matches. Mm-hmm. He gets the ring. Ref Aubrey is distracted. Jericho grabs a baseball bat.
Oh, Hager tosses it to him.
Oh yeah. Hager comes in.
Hager's out there, but he does a better job of Wardlow of just kind of hanging in the shadows.
Yeah. Tosses.
That's what I meant. This match ended like it should have because because they fought each other as hard as they could, and then they were both like, time to cheat.
Right. Grabs the baseball bat, and he's holding it up, ready to swing on MJF. MJF looks at him,
pulls an Eddie,
gigs him, and takes a bump, and just dropped.
He pulled an Eddie without being the person to toss the weapon.
You haven't. Just so many tributes to the Guerreros tonight. So much. And that's exactly what happened here. He just dropped, and bam, Aubrey hears the bump, turns around, sees Jericho with the bat. MJF is laying there. Disqualification. MJF wins. And actually, that's not how it went down, was it? It was a roll up, wasn't it?
It was. It was the second sneakiest way to do it. Mm-hmm. Because the whole point was MJF wanted into the inner circle.
Yeah.
So and basically Jericho was like, okay, if you beat me, you can get in. Mm-hmm. So of course these two men are going to try and cheat each other.
Yeah.
And even better than getting in on a DQ, MJF surprises him with a roll up.
Mm-hmm. Pulled the tights.
Yes.
And got the 3 count.
Yep.
He is now in the inner circle.
A win that Jericho would in character, I feel, will ultimately respect, but also despise.
And here's something that I found that was really interesting, because the way the announcers said it, and the way the dirt sheets are talking about it.
Uh-huh.
Yes, MJF is in the inner circle, but so is Wardlow.
Yes.
They're saying MJF and Wardlow.
Yeah, they both got in. That's what the results said as well.
Which now, this leads me to the discussion part of this.
Okay.
You can't have Chris Jericho and MJF.
No,
in a stable.
and I was talking about that the night of. It's like the entire point of this has got to be MJF worms his way in to ouster Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho's got to be going face, right?
It's something like that. At the very least, they're gonna play it like MJF seeing him as the Lion in winter. Mm-hmm. He's clearly on the downslope. MJF on the upslope.
Yeah.
What better thing to do than take his rightful place at the top?
Right. As I think this is a great way, probably, and I'm just speculating, I don't know, but this might be Chris Jericho's ticket to retirement.
Yeah, there's a good chance of that. Yeah, and you're right. And I'm betting it would probably let him go out on as a fan favorite, especially illustrated by his entrance.
Yeah. Because boy, they love to sing his song, and his song is great.
But hold on, before we get into that, you missed it. And I know you saw it on the replay, didn't you? Did you see MJF's entrance?
Oh, yes, I did. Yeah.
He came into his music, but he started by doing the Y2J pose with a blinking jacket as one of two of Jericho's gimmicks combined.
Yes. Oh man,
On the way in.
I had forgotten about that.
Yeah.
That was so good.
And then and I can't see this going any other way than Jericho, going face in some capacity, because the crowd has been loving nothing more than to sing his music.
Yeah.
And you saw it on his face tonight when he got in the ring and they were singing the last bit.
He was, to quote himself, drinking it in, man.
He looked so touched.
Yeah.
By the audience doing that for him.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is, it's nothing new.
No.
Because they've been singing this, and for weeks and weeks on Dynamite, they've been singing it. And it's nothing new, but this time in particular, it was just extra special because I think
it did come across that way.
And god damn, what a match, man.
Yeah.
I gave this, like I said, I don't want to talk too much about, I don't want to tell you too much about it, because there's a few matches most matches I don't give a shit. I'm going to tell you what's going on and problems that I had with it. This match was something to behold.
I feel like that touched him so personally this time, because I think coming in, he knew he was going to give them something special with MJF.
Yeah.
You could just get that feeling. It's like, God, like they really want this, and boy, are they going to get what they wanted to see.
And and just looking to the future, I would, I like to imagine this: MJF versus Adam Page.
Okay.
AEW title on the line. Adam Page, if we can harness Adam Page a little bit and kind of get him, let's tweak a few things, let's tone a few things down, let's bring a few things up.
I'm sure if forces align, we could very well see that.
Absolutely. And bring that, let him be the Hogan to the MJF's Roddy Piper. And oh my God, the money that they're going to make. I mean, let that be the Ric Flair to the Dusty Rhodes. There's just so much there's so much good could come from a feud like that.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, if you take Adam Page and MJF, it honestly looks, and my boys in Lincoln are going to love this, you kind of liken it to the feud that should have continued on for decades but didn't, and that would be the Flair Magnum TA feud, because everybody was calling Magnum TA the next Hogan.
Yeah.
He was, before his untimely accident.
Yeah.
That was, everybody thought this is going to be the one to beat the one. Maybe the one is Adam Page. I want it to happen. I'd like
Clearly.
I think a couple things need to be tweaked a little bit.
Sure.
We got to harness a couple of things, but yeah, I think it could happen. And I'm very excited, to see where this was going on. Now, I'm going on about this match like it was the main event, and it was not.
Nope.
Because our last match of the evening was for the AEW World Championship. Jon Moxley defending his title against Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston.
I like his intensity.
He cuts a hell of a promo.
Yeah, he does.
But he looks like dog shit.
Yeah. It didn't wow me. Didn't really wow me.
Yeah. And he looked like, honestly, he looks like me. He's got
see
my body. he's a kind of a big guy, but he's got a gut, and it's just there's nothing impressive about him.
Yeah.
And his wrestling is limited, much like mine. I was looking for something a little more in this match. While I thought it was really good.
Yeah, he didn't.
4.5 for the
MJF Jericho.
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry.
That's fine. I think you're right. I think there was a problem translating the intensity from his promos to an intensity in the ring.
I'm a fan of us.
And this is also, sorry, I didn't mean to
That's
cut
okay.
you off,
Go
but
ahead.
I was like, this is also the match that really highlighted the problem I had with finishes just kind of happening. It didn't feel like this is the finish, pay attention. It was just like, oh, that's the end.
I feel like they ran out of stuff to do.
Yeah.
And or maybe they just kind of booked this on the fly and just couldn't come up with anything. There was no microphone to say, "Hey, I quit." You got to have that. Like, I mean, that happened during the Flair. Oh God.
I'm not sure. I'd love to help you, but I don't know.
The people at home are screaming at me right now. Ric Flair versus. It's gone.
What Matt? I mean,
geez, son, my horse is sick. I can't. I had a beautiful dream one day.
it was
Double Cross Ranch.
Terry Funk.
Thank you, Jesus.
I'm sorry. I thought you were doing a bit. I didn't know you were trying to recall. Oh my God.
I was. Guys, I'm getting old.
I was just enjoying it. You do a pretty decent Terry Funk too.
Yeah, I've been working on Terry Funk.
That's good. Now you can do both of them at the same.
We're gonna do a whole. It's gonna be Stallone. It's gonna be old man.
It's gonna be
Flair.
it's gonna be a round table of voices you can do. We'll just put that as a podcast one day.
It's just gonna be me in here. Like, welcome to this edition of This Is a Work. This is a work, please. I don't even know what to do here.
You got too excited. You got too excited on that one.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
How are you going to exist? Anyway.
Something fat boy.
Moxley Kingston. I did your mother. Moxley and Kingston. This match, look, it's supposed to be an I Quit match. We don't have a microphone. There was a microphone for the Flair and Funk I Quit match.
Right.
That's where these things started from that. And, you if you don't have the microphone, then, I don't know what you're doing. And I never even really saw him say I quit. It looked like he passed out again. I mean, I'm sure he did, but
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I honestly forgot it was an I Quit match.
Yeah. He was supposed to, and it looked like he passed out again. I don't like the way Eddie Kingston sells. For him to be blubbertastic, he should be selling harder from John Moxley, because John Moxley's he is a strong dude.
Yeah.
And Eddie, I mean, the only thing that Eddie's really got going for him is, he kind of looks like, ABC chewing gum, but he also looks like he lives in Rock Hill and just lives in the bad part of town and would walk up with no shoes on and whoop your ass just because.
He's probably angry he doesn't have any shoes.
Well, yeah, it's. I mean, that he looks like that type of guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And which I think would help him. That's one of the things that puts him over.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's just the work rate wasn't good. I'm a fan of the world title being the main event.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think this is the one time almost everything out. Well, not everything is at least the middle and upper card overshadowed this match to the point to where nobody cared that this match was happening.
And honestly, you could have finagled it in a way where MJF and Jericho could have headlined.
Yeah, I think that.
But honestly, Jericho could have just been like, I made some use of some sort of, like creative control in my contract to demand that this be the headliner because how can we not be the top of this show?
Absolutely.
All that would have taken just like a throw off line in a promo, just like.
Honestly, it wouldn't have hurt my feelings if FTR and the Bucks were main. I haven't seen a main event tag team match.
I could have just gone to sleep. I could have tuned out at the moment I stopped caring and not have to try and stay awake for the rest of the show.
I think you would have been entertained if they'd have swapped it that way. Because
maybe.
I think they because they were
I would have given it more leeway because it was the last match.
They were working that match if it were the last match.
They really were.
So
and that might have more to do with the Bucks mentality than anything else.
Well, there's a little bit of that too. And it could be just the mark in me, but I am, as I am starting to dislike the Bucks, even though they're going heel, and I usually like the heels.
That's true.
But the
first thing you love to do is talk about how much you're starting to like people who turn heel almost immediately.
But this match there's nothing like they use some barbed wire. They got a little bit of blood, nothing crazy.
Oh yeah, Kingston wrapped it around his hand. Moxley had the bat with barbed wire.
Yeah, you go straight for the baseball bat. We did. Yeah, see, that's the thing. If you're gonna do thumbtacks, you do thumbtacks. Midway through the match.
Yeah.
There's rules to hardcore. I know that there's no, technically no rules, but you don't start a match with a barbed wire baseball bat because that finishes.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like there's no rules to a hardcore match, but there is rules to pumping up the crowd.
Right. You finish with the barbed wire baseball bat.
Yeah.
The tacks, that's middle towards the end because you don't want the tacks there the whole match because you want to work a little bit
because they're painful, they look brutal, but they're also, you can shrug them off a lot.
Yeah, and put it, if you're gonna do it, you put it in the far corner,
which they did. They did,
and to keep it so they can still work a little bit. But yeah, that's not what happened. Like it. And then he takes the barbed wire off of the baseball bat and he rubs him with it, and he doesn't even really bleed.
No.
And then your go home is a chin lock. He choked him out.
Yeah.
With barbed wire.
Right.
You can paint this horse any color you want to. That's a shitty finish, man.
Yeah.
It should not have been main event. I did enjoy the match. I thought it was a fair to middling match, but it was placed wrong. It was stacked wrong, and you guys worked it wrong. That's really the long and the short of it. I gave it a 3.
Yeah.
Overall, damn fine pay-per-view. I gave the whole thing of 3.5.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier. It's like it's a good pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. It's not their best.
No.
They're kind of hitting their stride where they're kind of there are going to be some average shows now.
Yeah. It was much better than the last one.
Yeah.
And which that's what we wanted.
Here's the thing: now that the novelty is gone and they're sticking around, now you have to judge them.
They're not a t-shirt company anymore.
Nope. Now you have to judge them on the fact that they are going to be continuing, and you have to, before it was, this is still pretty new, and it's still leagues ahead of what WWE's doing most of the time.
Right.
It's like so they had a very generous curve in their favor.
Absolutely.
And now, even though this was, again, not the best show, still altogether a solid show.
Absolutely. And
great show.
I think everybody was entertained.
Yes.
The best show that they've ever done.
No.
I think that's a stretch.
No, it's not. It's definitely not for me.
No, it's not. It's a lie.
I'm sorry. This isn't the pay-per-view where Orange Cassidy almost drowns Chris Jericho and
in orange juice or orange food coloring, whatever.
Yes.
Now, Chris Barnes, let me ask you, who do you have for your best dressed here?
What a shocking question I've been handed. Best dressed? Well, I mean, it's not fair because, I mean, kind of the permanent fixture at the top of that chart is going to be Orange Cassidy all the time.
Sure.
But barring that, always understanding he's going to be there on top every time. I would go with. It's hard to say. I mean, just to be serious, because honestly, I like Sheeta's look. Sheeta, I mean, it doesn't vary too much, but it's consistent, and it looks like one of the best put together like outfits in terms of thematically how she presents herself.
I can dig it. Now, what do you have for worst?
Eddie Kingston. I'm not. There was no doubt.
There's no question. He looked terrible,
and I don't want to dogpile, but it's like. For his intensity and how he presented himself, and I saw the recaps and everything, and how he was dressing coming into that show, and for him to look like he stole something the Street Profits didn't want.
Yeah,
it was workout gear.
Yeah, it was. It was supposed to have been a tip of the cap to Tracy Smothers, which when he came out, that's what he had.
Right.
But again,
and I know Kingston kind of has worn
Tracy Smothers don't wear no shirt like that.
No, and I know Kingston's worn stuff like that before, but for the storyline they were going for, this was not the ring gear to bring with you this time.
No, not at all. In fact, my worst is also Eddie Kingston. I don't think anybody's
can't be that intense in that shade of green.
No, he looks ridiculous. In fact, as people were mulling in and out of the living room while we were watching, the main question that was asked for people that were really paying attention to it, they were just kind of coming in and out, was, what in the hell has he got?
Yes.
that was said 3 times by casual viewers that didn't know what was going down.
Moxley dressed for an I Quit match.
Yeah.
Kingston dressed for a 3-on-3.
Yeah. He dressed like he was a rookie on the indie circuit that bought his tights from a guy that's outside Daly's place that had tights in his trunk.
Or either that, or he couldn't scrape together money for ring gear, and he's like, shit, I got my basketball stuff in the car.
Yeah. No, since David Hensley is not here,
producer Dave is not here tonight.
But he did, however, leave his best and worst performance.
He left me a super secret envelope not to open until this very moment.
Okay.
What do you want me to start with, best or worst?
Let's start with best.
Best, he said, Chris Jericho. He liked the fact because he was pointing out this is something very true about Jericho, that if you've ever watching his body of work, he accepts because, and I quote, I like that he accepts his competitors as equals. He had the same attitude with MJF as he did with Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, absolutely. Without question.
He treated them all as respectable challengers.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, what does he have for worst?
Eddie Kingston.
I knew it. I knew it was going to happen.
Actually, he didn't even remember his name. He said the guy Moxley wrestled because he didn't sell for shit.
Yeah, and he didn't.
He did not.
It was a.
And I get. I get the whole point is you're selling yourself as tough, but it's just poor form to just not sell.
Yeah, it's not. It's the main. You gotta put it, and that's the world champion.
Yes,
you gotta. If you're not putting him over, then what are you doing?
You're ruining a world championship match.
Right.
you don't look better. This match looks worse. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. It's so I would like to see Eddie stick around because
sure,
he's got great promos.
Absolutely, and there were
intense.
plenty of people I saw on Twitter, including Matthew of Botchamania, who was like, "I'm watching this show because I love Eddie Kingston."
Yeah.
He's like he altered his sleep schedule to be able to watch it live when it aired in England. So because he was because he was like, I want to see Eddie Kingston in the match. Yeah,
and this is something that was brought up after everybody left. Me and Shelby were talking, and there's a lot of of super fans that follow Eddie Kingston and they're fans of Eddie Kingston, but there's also a lot of fans that didn't know who the hell Eddie Kingston is. If I had to offer any advice, I would say you need to have a small story inside this larger story, which the larger story is, I'm here, I'm coming after Moxley. We were together on the circuit, we were friends, blah, 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 and blah, all this stuff.
Sure.
Great. Some of the newer fans don't know all that. Give me a smaller story to build on that, and then we can work with something. But again, all of that's for naught if he's going to sell like shit. And I'll be honest, if you're not gonna hit the gym and look any better than that, then you don't need to be in the ring. I'm sorry. I know that's coming from
and you don't even have to be super fit in that regard, because
No.
I mean, think about Mick Foley. Mick Foley, when he was getting ready for big matches, he exercised, he hit the gym.
He did.
He still looked like he did, but he
Well,
was in shape.
he was in ring shape.
He was in ring shape. He was fitter. He wasn't like shredded, but he was suitable for ring competition.
I will say a catalyst. I will contradict that because
Sure.
Eddie Kingston, in no way, shape, or form, is Mick Foley.
No.
And there aren't that many that are.
Eddie Kingston looks like a guy who could be in shape if he wanted to be.
Yeah, it wouldn't take that much.
No.
It's like you just
Because he
hit
had
the treadmill.
He had a dad bod, and and the kind of the epitome of a dad bod is he's just a bit of a dedicated gym routine to being in shape.
Yeah, it's honestly, if I knew I was gonna in the unlikely event that somebody said, "Hey, Doggz, I want you to come back for a match or whatever," let's say,
First of all, how much?
yeah. First of all, how much is it going to be? Second of all, how long is it going to? When? It was it's going to be next week. I can't do it. I'm not in shape.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, give me 4 months, and let me start hitting the gym really hard, and let me at least get some hustle behind some muscle. And
You need at least 4 months because you also want to build this match.
right. And I'll do that in the ring.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure.
That's so man, I think that's going to do it for us.
I think so.
So next we've got Survivor Series coming up.
Oh, who will survive?
Oh God.
Not
well,
me.
yeah, I think Survivor Series, I'll do my rankings then, which I don't think it's going to change because I'm looking at the perceived card for Survivor Series. It's not looking stellar. I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm not excited about this at all.
But it's the 30th anniversary of The Undertaker
Well,
and the Gobbledygooker.
That's gonna be the one thing we can have. We're gonna see Taker retire.
They should properly.
Yeah.
I like how they kind of walked back his Roman Reigns moment
Yeah.
at WrestleMania.
Because Jesus,
They should bring out another giant egg.
could he come out of it this time?
I would
or
love-
maybe go into it. It's
That's how he retires. He returns to the underworld via giant egg.
yeah, and he just rolls up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. It magically rises through the roof like you did that one time.
Yeah. Well, man, this has been a lot of fun.
It has.
I've enjoyed this one. So, Survivor Series is coming up. So I want you guys to be on the lookout for that. I guess Long Walk Teeny Talks they're gonna have another one coming up.
It's a thing.
I think you've got there's a Long Walk podcast.
We will be recording one very soon.
Is it this weekend?
Tomorrow, actually.
That's
tomorrow. That per the day we're recording this, so it'll probably be up by Friday or the weekend. Yeah.
Right on. So you got a lot going on. I'm trying to think. Is there a takeover? There's not a takeover.
I can tease the Long Wall Talks is going to be about remakes.
Oh, fun!
Yes.
Right on. And I'm trying to think. I don't think there's no more takeovers this year, is there?
I don't know.
I think the next one's not going to be until like after January, maybe February, something like that. I could be wrong about that. There might be one in December.
Oh, well, to make up
no, they'll have to have a takeover for November, right?
I don't know.
Well, you know what? We'll let them tell us.
Yes. To make up for it, we'll form our own Survivor Series teams for the next one, and we'll have an elimination match.
Well, speaking of that, I believe our 100th episode, Long Walk podcast,
yes,
100th episode of podcast are coming up. I want to say in January.
Soon, and, yes, it is coming up soon.
And so I believe that's going to be right around the Royal Rumble, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. And I think we're all going to have some type of gathering.
Good old-fashioned Crisis crossover.
Yeah, it might be Gina and Shelby and Stan and you and me and Hensley.
Oh.
And we're all going to rock.
All the brands are going to be on one show.
Yeah.
And he's going to surprise us, and he's going to have a draft.
If you try to give me Stan Lee, I will be very upset. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Stan. What do you say we take it home, man?
I think that's a great idea.
All right, let's do it. Well,
I'll toss it over to you.
All right. Well, guys, listen, I want to thank everybody for listening to us. And just remember, keep spreading the good news, man. We get our listeners through word of mouth. Hit us with a good review. Hit us with a 5-star review. Subscribe, like, and share. Tell a friend, man. Tell somebody you don't like. Steal their phone, hack into it, and then download our podcast onto their phone. I don't care how we get out there.
And that way we get another rating, and then you're automatically deleting memory space in their phone so they don't understand where it's going.
Right.
And you get your revenge, and we get another 5-star.
Yeah, this is the perfect crime. And most importantly, if you walked out of bed today...
Walked out of bed?
You could walk out of bed if you want to. I'm not telling you how to live. If you got out of bed today, and you had a job to go to, and you've got somebody at home that cares about you, guys, this match is over, and you just won via pinfall. Thank you very much for listening to This Is a Work.
Good night, everybody.